Well, look, I think it's going to be a learning experience. First time on the golf course trying to take some video, do one of these course vlogs, and of course my GoPro does not start on the first tee. I brought 3 batteries trying to be prepared, and they just were not cooperating this morning. So you missed the first 2 holes. That's not necessarily a bad thing, they weren't super exciting. Bogeyed the first one with the 2-putt from 8 feet, trying to adjust to kind of the cooler weather, and then had a great birdie look on number 2 from 8 feet and 2-putted that as well. So I'm 1 over through 2, playing a par 5. Let's go. This tee shot always gives me fits. It gets narrower the further you hit it, but for some reason I always want to hit driver. I'll pull some grass and see that really there's no wind where I'm standing. I could have also checked the V1 game app to know that the wind is coming from the left. That's another part where I struggle. Left to right winds, I tend to block it. And in this case, hitting it down the right-hand side is not the best place to be, as everything feeds right to the trees. And I blocked it. Right towards the trees. Not bad, just down the right-hand side. Second thing from a course management perspective is it's not really a par 5 that you can go for easily. While it fits my draw shot shape, the green is tucked to the left and feeds to the left where there's more creek and more trouble. It's just a very difficult green to hit, usually a blind shot to it. From a strategy perspective, I should not be hitting driver off of this tee. But as it was, I got away with it, and now here I have a shot. I'm just trying to lay up down the right-hand side. Please don't hit the trees. Please don't hit the trees. Ugh. It's a tight shot there for me, as I like to draw the ball, so trying to hug those trees, keep it in play, but I was able to find the middle of the fairway. A little further right than I wanted, but it should be a good position for a birdie look. Laid up to a really good spot. Got about 55 yards. Into the wind. Lob wedge it. So this is one of those tweener shots for me. I haven't had a lob wedge in my bag for very long. How do I hit it hard and get it there? You don't want to flip and leave it short. You'll see that later. All in all, I was happy with the swing when I hit it, but it did go a little long and left me a tough one. A little deep. It's a little deeper than I wanted. Left myself a downhill putt that I thought was going to slide about 21 feet or so. Lined up, got to be careful not to hit it too far. Pretty good stroke on it. Just didn't turn.
That's a gimme.
Good putt though. I'll never complain about an easy par on number 3. Move to the 4th, 1 over. This is actually the only hole I've ever aced, but today it's a different pin. Into the wind, it's a 3-tiered green, pins in the middle tier. Very important to get it on the right tier, or it can be a tough up and in. Toey pull. Left myself below the hole, not the hardest up and down. It just wasn't well struck. I was uncommitted. Didn't trust my distance. As you can see that I only hit an 837 yards. Pulled it left off the toe. I'd hit that better. But as far as misses go, it was a pretty good miss. Should be an easy up and in if I hit it well. But I didn't. A little firm, a little aggressive, and I left myself another tough downhill 10-footer. Really got to leave yourself in a better spot around the green. Another one where I've just got to be defensive and just barely breathe on it. Hope I get lucky. Walk it in. Oh, but I didn't get lucky. Instead it races on by. Left myself a testy 5-6 footer coming back. Really need to make these to keep momentum in the round. This is where it can get sideways and you can give strokes away in a hurry and be kicking yourself on compounding mistakes. I like the line. I saw it go by. I can be a little more aggressive up this hill. Try to get the putt to hold its line. And it does. I'll take bogey. Leave the first forward 2 over, which for me on this golf course, I'm not mad at. This is a tough starting course for me. Next hole, par 4, kind of shapes left to right. Everything feeds off that left-hand side where the trees are. not super long, and driver can get you in trouble. So just a driving iron here, just get something in play, give yourself a shot into the green. Well struck, maybe just a little blocked. Problem what I didn't account for was this early in the morning the ground's still soft. I got 0 roll out of that.
Good swing. Might have more left than I wanted, but right down the middle.
I don't know what the mitter is, but this seems to be it.
I left myself more than I wanted, but I'm in the fairway on a tough hole. So I'm gonna hit it over that tree with the draw.
This is actually a tougher shot than it looks at first glance. There's a lake to the left that also carries around to a creek short. There's trees to the right that are jail, collection area short right. Really, you gotta be right down Broadway or you're in trouble. Luckily, I was right down Broadway. Really, I'm not too mad at that result, but I'll take a little fake swing in disgust. Stop on a divot like the ground caused the problem.
A little heavy, but as we say, that was the good miss. Just short of the green. Pretty hole. See me just short of the green. All right, so through 4 holes, I'm 2 over, which honestly isn't terrible. I struggle with the first 4 holes on this course. It's kind of my nemesis. So if I can get up and down for par here and leave 2 over through 5, I'm in pretty good shape to play the rest of the golf course. Let's see what I can do.
Really a pretty standard up and down here, just a kind of bump and run with a 60-degree wedge. Just get it started on the green, let it trickle down to the hole. Should be a tap-in par, nothing crazy. Landed on my spot, didn't get any break out of it, but easy tap-in, easy par. We'll head to the 6th hole. The 6th hole kind of doglegs to the right a little bit. You can get aggressive and hit it over the right-hand side, but then you won't see the ball land. It is kind of a speed slot over there. What you want to avoid is hitting it into the bunkers on the left. It's a tough hole for alignment for me. It's hard to commit to that right-hand side, especially when your foot slips as much as I just did. That's a problem with wearing casual shoes early in the morning when it's wet outside. No traction, spun out the tire. If you watch my back foot, it's really amazing I even hit the ball at all.
With spikes when it's wet. 180 with some wind help off a side hill lie. Try to hit over the right side of the tree and hope it bounces up to the back.
My tee shot actually bounced over the bunkers on the left-hand side to end up in this spot. Really not too bad of a spot. You just gotta be careful not to catch the heel on the way down and flip it left. Anything on the right-hand side has a reasonable chance heading up and down. Shot tracer went a little squirrely there. I mean, the ball might have knuckled a little, but it certainly didn't do that. It cleared the tree by a good 5 feet or so, trundled right up there to the back edge of the green.
Right on the back edge on the right tier. What a shot.
Got the ball to the right tier, pretty flat putt. It's one you probably don't make very often, but if you're careless, you could 3-putt. This ball was actually on a really good line, and I just didn't hit it hard enough. It stops right in the jaws, 2 or 3 feet short. Easy par on 6 is always welcome. I stay +2 for the round, heading into the 7th hole. The 7th hole is really where the scoring should start. You got a reachable par 5, you've got a easy par 4 after that on 8 and 9. Time to turn it on. Until recently, there weren't houses on the right side of this hole, which is now out of bounds. But it's a pretty forgiving tee shot. If you can just pipe it down the middle, you can have 5-iron or less into the green. That's blocked down the right. Predictable, my last thought was don't pull it. I only had 220 or 230 to this green, but there's nothing behind it but a pop bunker, so it's not good to go long. Didn't want to be short, so I decided to lay up with just a 7-iron. Had about 220 yards to the creek. Hit that well, landed on a downslope. I'm hoping it stops. It did. Sometimes these 40-yard chips can be really difficult. I only got to land it 28 or so yards to get it onto the green, and then you're hoping it stops. It's an easy one to chunk or to get too aggressive with. Pick a spot, try to hit it. Couldn't hit that much better, just barely got on the green. Rolled out, you can see I still have 6-7 feet. Before I hit the putt, there was a minor mix-up. While my ball was sitting on the green, it actually got hit by one of my playing partners. Hit in a way I've never seen before. Almost like a pool cue. My ball actually fired off into the bunker as his ball spun off the green. You can see in slow motion. But I'm a numbers guy, and I can tell you, not very likely.
Make one.
I'm not entirely sure I got this putt back where it was supposed to be. Looking back at the video, I probably added about a foot to the putt. Still, it was completely makeable. Left edge should break right into the heart. But it didn't.
Right where I was looking. Wrong line.
Didn't do it at all.
I overread that one.
I don't think I overread it. Looks like an invisible force field just pushes it to the right. You see this leaf kind of blow? I don't know if it was a gust of wind. The wind wasn't all that strong. Or if the green just wasn't that pure. But that ball surely should not have broke back to the left. Good stroke, good line. Just didn't make it. That's golf. The 8th hole is a really good risk-reward hole. You can actually hit driver, in this case, probably 3-wood or less over the trees on the left-hand side. But I'm +2 for the round. Don't feel like I need to make a big move. So the safe play is to hit out in the middle of the fairway and try to get up and down for birdie. Good swing there. Right down the middle. Have a good shot.
Good shot. Alright, so we're still 2 over through 7 holes now. Just found the fairway there with a great iron shot. Playing well, right where I want to be. I've had some great birdie looks already and just haven't quite found the cup, but they're coming. This is where I just got to be patient. This is a good scoring opportunity if I can get a good wedge on it, right? Short one, middle of the fairway. I should have, you know, lob wedge in.
This is another one of those tweener lob wedges. My ball is just nestled up against this weed. I've got 55, 60 yards to the hole. Just got to make sure I hit it hard enough to get there, but with the water behind the hole, it does make you a little nervous. The green slopes that way. And I just was chicken here. I only hit it maybe 40 yards. Didn't barely get it to the front of the green. Now I've got kind of a long putt.
Had similar yardage earlier that I hit over the green. A little gun shy.
Somehow I forgot to get the GoPro started for this shot, so it didn't get my putts. But I basically lag putted from the fairway up to a 3-footer and tapped it in for an easy par. The 9th hole is a straightaway hole, really easy. You can really just blast it as hard as you can. There's no danger. A couple bunkers, driver range on the right, but it's almost a driver range right fairway. Just hit it as hard as you can, try to keep it in the middle. This is one of my best drives of the day. Had the wind behind me, which obviously helps, but I hit that obviously on a straight line right where I was looking. Rolled out nicely. Big hit. Put me in position A to try to make a birdie on the 9th.
Really good drive. All right, I am 2 over now through 8. So I've managed to stay where I'm at. Not quite scoring yet. Getting lots of good looks though, and feeling good for, of course, it's my nemesis. So anytime I can get through the front 9 at 2 over, I'm in good shape to go score on the back. I think it's an easier side, so let's go.
The downside of hitting your driver well is you get one of these tweener yardages. So 73 yards trying to hit a sand wedge, take some off of it, just like a little less than a 3/4 sand wedge up there to the pin. A lot of times on these short shots, the tendency is to pull it, which is exactly what I did. Little left, not bad, still a birdie look.
Just haven't been sharp with my wedges, trying to steer that a little bit. I think the distance was pretty good. More than I wanted for birdie though.
Time for you to pick up.
Little slider from about 19 feet, aimed about 18 inches outside the left. It's downhill, downwind. Got it on line, but this one just slid. Now you got one of those 4-footers coming back for the par. Luckily that wind that was blowing all but dies down. See the flag. Not whipping quite like it was over the first putt. Put a good stroke on it. Nice par. 2 over on the front, headed to the back. So there's a bit of a mental mistake. I was between clubs. I normally hit a 3-wood on this hole. Had a big tailwind. I felt like I could hit driving iron. Talked myself back into the 3-wood and then just really didn't commit to it. So that's where I got to get better. Is going in this hole, I told myself I was going to hit driving iron and I backed out, which makes it hard to commit. I need to pick a club, commit to my game plan when I start, barring some dramatic change in weather or some reason not to, and stick with it, because you can't stand over a ball and be second guessing where it's going. So hopefully I cleared that corner enough to still have a shot and got away with it, but not my best there. So clearly not ideal here in the trees. Technically not in the hazard. I've got a shot to punch it out, but this is where you're just trying to make a mistake, to get away with the mistake and not make it worse. Try to get it up close to the green and get up and down for par. Let's see what I can do. These little shots are difficult. You've got to stay extra focused. Make sure, if anything, I like to try to hit them a little bit thin, but you know your club's going to hit something in the backswing and you just got to concentrate through it to make sure you don't whiff. That's actually a pretty big hit. It's going to roll up there nicely, put myself in a decent position, but I'm never mad at that when you can get out, advance the ball. Really not bad, just rolled over the right edge, kind of ish. Should be relatively tame up and down. See if I can make it. You may not have noticed, but I just picked up a branch into my hair. It's going to follow me now for the next couple holes and annoy me every time that I see it. This shot's a relatively simple up and down up the hill, but 20, 25 yards, hit, let it release.
What they got? Go.
Problem is, past the hole is another ridge that falls off, so your tendency is to be a little tentative. When you're getting ready to hit a putt, it always helps to see your playing competitors hit a good one. That wasn't a good one. When you see a ball race by the hole, it's really hard to commit and feel like you've got the speed right, because now you just put an image in your head that's not super good. In any case, 10, 12 feet here for par.
Stay up.
Get there.
Haven't read one right yet today. That's a bogey. Well, the mistake was on the tee shot. You, like I said, got to be committed. Otherwise I put myself in a bad position. I still had a 10-footer for par, but I've been kind of really under-reading them all day. Hole 11 is a relatively simple par 3, but when they put that pin in the back left, it can be kind of hard to get to. Got to commit into the wind, put a good swing on it. That one's going left and long. Another toey pull. I gotta stop hitting it out there, start hitting it here. Well, that was very clearly the wrong club. I'm long and left. Gotta get up and down for par. Keep the momentum going. You don't want to drop too early on the back nine. That never feels good. Down there, so it should scoop when we hit the green. Gotta be aggressive through the hit. Aggressive through the hit. Go in. a good shot. Almost hold it.
If you keep testing yourself with 3-footers, you're bound to miss one. Gotta be careful on each one. Take your time. Get that away. Easy par. The 12th hole isn't a long par 4, but it is a difficult one. Doglegs to the right, it's about a 220 carry over that bunker on the right-hand side. If you hit it too far, it can go through the fairway into the trees, but really it's the second shot that's tough through a narrow chute to a difficult green.
I'll draw a little bit.
Woo! Smoked out.
Save that bunker though. That's a big bounce. I might have carried that bunker. If I carried that bunker, then that's really good.
That drive was really good. I only had about 125 yards into the screen, into the wind. It's kind of in between clubs for me, so I was trying to decide whether I was going to hit a gap wedge or a pitching wedge. Decided to go with a pitching wedge. Now you just got to commit to it. Hit a good hard one, the wind should knock it down and be the perfect distance. Except I wasn't committed to it. I bailed out, barely swung at it, left it way short, barely clearing the creek. Now I've got it difficult up and down for par. Do you want another reason to hit the fairway? Look at the branch in my hair. It's been stuck there since the 10th hole when I hit it into the trees. How can you concentrate on a golf shot when you look so ridiculous? It's hard. Really, really hard.
Alright, so there's some frustration. Hit a perfect tee shot. Middle of the fairway, had 117 in. I wanted a gap wedge, and then I was thinking maybe there's some wind up there, so I switched to a pitching wedge and then didn't commit to it. Barely hit it. Barely cleared the creek, and now I got a, not the simplest up and down to try to save par. Getting kind of tired of trying to save par from non-committed shots. You got to start hitting it hard, not on the toe. Swing into it, aggressive swings. First, let's get up and down for par.
Alright, just a little uphill chip. Get the leaf out of the way. It is in the rough, so you want to make sure you accelerate. Don't leave it short. Do something silly. But pretty straightforward. Just an easy lob wedge.
Soft, real soft.
I'll scratch my head to let you know I'm confused. Look at the club. Look at the lie. Left myself another 10-12 footer for par. These are getting old, and they're not easy. Each one of these has a lot of break. You can see I'm aiming way to the left. Under-read it again. At least this time I left myself a tap in, but another bogey.
My mistake was from the fairway.
Not my best.
Big old green with that bunker.
Next hole is par 5. Pretty straightforward. You can pound it away. The green's reachable if you hit it far enough up there, but it is a tough second shot. Key thing is just to get it in play, get it in the fairway. Another line drive, smoked that one. Pretty good shot, just inside the bunkers. I was happy with that.
Well, that last bogey takes me to 4 over on the round. I really just got to be more committed to my shots. Each of the bogeys that I've made were kind of uncommitted shots into the green. If you commit, you play well.
Still have that branch in my head. I still look ridiculous. Alright, second shot. You gotta carry it over those trees and over a creek. It's actually a difficult shot because you can't see the green where you're aiming at if you're going for it in 2. But being that I had just around 200 yards, I was hitting a 4-iron. Felt pretty good about it. And I hit it great, right on the line that I wanted, maybe a touch left.
We'll see.
And I went a little long, still in the grass, but good spot. Looks like they just resodded a bunker, turned it into a grass bunker. A little bit of a tight shot. You don't have a big area to land it. You got to get it to stop quick. But I'm here in 2, so we can get up and down for birdie. Hit my spot, settles nicely. Fortunately, my GoPro battery died, so you're not going to see me tap that in, but you'll have to take my word for it that it was my first birdie of the day. Finally, 13 holes in, first birdie. But that moves me back to 3 over par. And I'm playing pretty well. Again, you'll have to take my word for it, but I made the putt. 15th hole is really tough for me because I like to draw the ball. Fairway slopes right to left. There's a creek on the left-hand side. Another mental mistake. I didn't shoot the bunker, so I don't know how far it is to carry. And because of that, I pulled it left to try to not hit the bunker and made the worst mistake. Bounded into the hazard.
That might be trouble. I was worried about. Overcooked it.
Again, if I was smart, I would have just shot the bunker to get confidence and blasted my driver that way. Unfortunately, I hit it in the creek in the left, and I'm going to have to take a drop. Now it is just a wedge, so you have a reasonable chance to get up and down if you hit a good one. But I'd rather not been in this position in the first place. To make it worse, I chunked the wedge to the front of the green, leaving myself a really hard up and down.
Oh, that's awful.
Pins in the back. Again, I'll swipe at the ground like it's the ground's fault.
Compounding mistakes. Hit in the hazard, don't take enough club. Terrible position.
My ball's all the way at the front, off the green. I have to go over this mound, try to roll it up. It's actually a really tight shot. It's only a small window that you can land the ball and get it close to the hole. If you leave it short, it'll hit in the hill, come back to you. If you hit it long, you'll have a long putt. Suppose you don't have to hit wedge, you could putt it. But what you can tell is I'm over 100 feet away. It'd be a really difficult putt as well, especially trying to judge the speed of that mound. So I decided to hit the wedge, try to land it just on top of the hill. Clipped it nicely. You can see it actually landed kind of right on top of the hill, which took some of the speed away. I honestly couldn't hit that better. That's one of those 1 in 10 type of chips. Leave myself an easy tap in. Unfortunately, it's an easy tap in for bogey. Again, mental mistake off the tee. Non-committed.
I can't hit that shot any better than that. That was
I think that's one of the things I learned the most watching these back is
fortunately a bogey.
all the shots that get me in trouble, I'm uncommitted for one reason or another, and it's usually just because I don't take my time.
So yet another one, that's another bogey. Granted a good bogey with that up and down. But uncommitted off the tee, you hit the left one you can't hit, because it's a mental mistake. I didn't shoot the bunker to see what the carry was, and I wasn't convinced I could carry it with the wind today, and just hit a lousy one, which led to another bogey. So that puts me at 5 over for the day. I got to skip a hole to go around the group, so I'm not going to get to play all 18. Hopefully I'll get to play 17 holes, but we'll see if I can finish on a high note. All right, so I had to skip 2 holes because of pace of play. Unfortunately, that's a problem out here at Woodbridge. It's slow, and I got a date, so I got to hustle on. But in any case, drivable par 4, 17th. I'm going to go ahead and play this one and take a rip at it.
Just a nice 3-wood over the right side of those trees. I should have a pretty good look. Last time I watched, get a yardage.
Right over those trees.
Got to commit to that line. Unlike number 8, this one's a little easier to drive. The trees aren't as tall and they're not as close to the green. But it's still uncomfortable knowing that you draw the ball with all the trouble to the left. Shot tracer went a little weird there, but I honestly hit that perfect.
Yep, I think it landed just right and short, but a good shot. Good chance for birdie here. So I did actually find a piece of the green, the very far right side, probably got the longest putt you could have on here. But we're gonna go worm's eye view and hopefully knock in an eagle putt.
So again, I didn't do a good job of managing the GoPro. Gonna run out of battery here. But you can see I was on the green, had a good putt for eagle. Even if it is from almost 100 feet away. I was in a hurry at this point. I needed to be done with the round and didn't have much time. So I didn't really go through my full process trying to land it up. or trying to get judged for the pace. I certainly didn't look at the way the green was sloped because I should be aiming well to the right. Ends off a slope there. Instead I hit it closer to the pin. Ended up leaving myself a long lag. Cut a long story short, I 3-putted for par. Pretty lousy par. Gets me through 17 and 4 over.
Last tee shot of the day. Let's grip it and rip it. I hope my GoPro battery survives. It's been kind of a learning experience today with batteries not staying charged. Missing some holes, not giving myself enough time with pace of play. But anyways, we'll learn. We'll get better.
Now again, my battery was pretty much dead. For some reason it gave me one more shot, or at least the start of a shot. So you have to take my word when I tell you that I parred the last hole to shoot 4 over. That's 4 over skipping 2 holes. Not a bad round for me on this golf course, but I need to figure out how to start better, and I need to take better advantage of the putts that I did have. Like the 3-putt on 17. It's not a good way to score, especially if you're trying to break 70. But all in all, I'm not mad at the +4. It's a tough golf course. So let's dive into how I did on the day using the V1 game post-round summary. You can see that I shot a 68. That's 4 over for the 16 holes that I played. My potential was a 65 if I would have eliminated penalties, 2 chips, and 3 putts. I had 27 putts for those 16 holes. That's a little high. I did a decent job hitting the fairway, or at least being close to the fairway when I missed, so I'm not too upset with that. But 7 out of 16 greens is a little low for me. If I look at it from a strokes gain perspective, I lost strokes on the putting green and lost strokes with the irons, which is about how I felt, right? I had the 3-putt on 17, and I really didn't make anything of length on the entire day with the putter when I had a lot of good birdie chances, right? And that's usually a struggle that I have for whatever reason at Woodbridge. With V1 Game, I can now swipe through the areas to get more details on those strokes gain performance, and the first thing that it'll highlight is that it was a poor driving day for me. I had 1.5 driving errors. That's where you hit it into a recovery or a penalty situation, and if you remember on 10, I hit that 3-wood up into the trees where I had to just punch out, and then later on 14, I kind of overcooked that driver into the creek on the left and had to take a drop. So really those 2 areas, which were both left misses, got me into significant trouble. Next would be putting. If I look at putting, I wasn't too disappointed with my putting day, but I didn't really make any of the good chances that I had. I had several birdie putts from 7 feet or less and just didn't convert. And then I had the 1-3 putt on 17 where I hit the green in 1 and had a good birdie chance and didn't even read the green properly, hit a very poor putt on putting. For irons, you'll notice that I lost strokes gained, but it says it's an average approach day. That's because I typically lose strokes to a scratch handicap, so no difference there. So it was a decent day for me with the irons, but I did tend to miss short. I hit a couple chunky, I hit a couple off of the toe. Wasn't super sharp with the irons early, and I know I can be better there if I give myself more chances, smoother swings, I'll be in better shape. For short game, I actually did really well this day. I scrambled really well because I did miss more greens than I normally do, but I chipped up several to just 3 feet, even some really difficult chips, like on 14 to save bogey. I hit some really solid short game shots. Didn't necessarily convert all of them with the putter, but happy with that portion of my day. So high level, what I'm going to take home from this is need to be sharper with the driver on those key holes. Those were both indecisive shots that led to the penalty and led to the recovery. I need to be more decisive there. And then if I can just be a little sharper with the putter, right? You saw, one of my short misses on the par 5 where actually I put a good stroke on it, just didn't go in. I feel like my green reading was the problem here at Woodbridge. It tends to be difficult for me to read these greens. I don't feel like the stroke was an issue because I put some solid strokes on it and really I didn't miss anything under 6 feet. So happy with that.